This class is geared towards yoga for your lower body, so stretches for things like your hips and hamstrings. We're also going to do a little bit of core. So before we get started, I just want you will need a prop, and I promise it's worth it. You can have either a block, what this is a rolled up mat, or a pillow, so like a thick pillow or something like that, for the core. And it is probably the best core exercise out there. So you take the time to pause this video, grab a block. This is a yoga mat rolled up 3 times, folded, and I actually taped this together to be a permanent prop for the core that I'm going to show you. Otherwise, you can just do a different core exercise while we do that one. Let's get started. We're going to start in just cat-cows, just to kind of warm up the spine, get connected to our bodies. So, come to tabletop position with the palms under the shoulders, and let's do about 10 to 15 nice slow cat-cows. So on your inhale, I want you to look up and let your belly drop as you fill up. And on your exhale, press into your palms as you round, emptying everything out. Good. So in your inhales, you lift your chest forward. And on your exhales, you press and you pull the belly up to the spine. Good. So the inhales are the lifting up. And the exhales are the pressing, rounding. Drop the neck and empty. Good. And do about maybe 10 more. Nice and slow. There's no rush. Feel free to get your breath nice and powerful. Even bigger breaths. Notice how the mind may be wandering a bit, just with opinions, expectations of this class. Just do the class. I promise it's a good one. It's all my favorite poses. Good. Keep breathing. Keep moving with the breath. Move into the spine, so really feel the movements of the spine, the tight areas. Do about 2 more. Very good. We're going to come right into that core exercise that I was just telling you about. So it's good to turn on your core power and then do the exercises so that you can actually channel and breathe that energy into the rest of the body. So, to quickly show you, you're going to need that prop. You come onto your back. You place the prop between your thighs like this. Quickly show you what the exercise is. So the legs are up. It's this. You're going to be lifting the butt and the tailbone up very subtly like this. You squeeze that prop, and then you exhale, you rise through the chest. And you're going to stay up and breathe for a breath, and then you'll lower, keeping the legs up. It will be intense. It's meant to be intense. So, the key, try not to rock the knees in towards the belly button when you lift up like this. So the hips and the knees go straight up. Like that. So that's what we're trying to do. So you're on your back now. Before you even do the crunches, just do that little tailbone lift. Try to practice that. Just to warm up the lower core. It's all lower core of that. You notice that's probably hard for you. That's okay. That'll get stronger. If the knees rock in towards the belly button, that is okay. Good. And now, so you inhale. You scoop the butt and tailbone, you squeeze that prop, and you rise through the chest, empty. Good, and let's take another breath. And you lower the shoulders, good. So we're going to do about 5 more. So you inhale, you scoop the tailbone, squeeze the prop, rise. I want you to relax your neck into your palms, and relax your jaw as you take another breath. And lower. Good. Let's do 4 more. You can do it. Inhale, scoop. Squeeze. Rise. I want you to squeeze harder. Come up through the chest higher. Another breath. And lower shoulders and tailbone. Good. Only 3 more. I know this is burning, but it's amazing. Good. Scoop. Squeeze. Rise. Good. Keep breathing. Notice if the breath is choppy or shallow. Slower, fuller breaths. And lower. Good. Only 2 more. Let's go right into this one. Inhale. Scoop. Squeeze. Rise. You can curl the toes towards the knees if you'd like. That may be helpful. Or you press through the toes, one or the other. And lower. Take a breath. Last one. Inhale. Scoop. Squeeze harder. And rise higher. 2 to 3 more breaths. You can do it. Very nice. Lower everything. Good. You can move the prop to the side for a moment. Bring the palms behind the head. Knees apart. Just take a few breaths. Really feel the ribs expand on your inhale. Feel the groin expand on the inhale. Notice the part of you that may be in a rush right now. Just take a few more breaths. Very nice. Draw the knees back together. Now we're going to do another amazing core strengthener, this time geared towards the lower back and the glutes. So you can use your prop or not for this. If you have the prop, place it between your thighs. Head is down. Palms by your side with the palms face up. Make sure your feet are hips width distance. Also, with your fingertips, you can just brush the heel. That's the distance to of your feet away from your hips. Good. So now you press into your feet and you lift the hips, rise the hips up. So if you do have that prop, there's just a subtle squeeze, not too much. The key to this pose. You scoop your tailbone and your butt towards your knees. You do that with an intensity as the hips lift as high as they can. Take a breath or 2. The other component of this is to lift up to the chest so much that your chin is almost touching your chest. I want you to slow your breath down so the inhales become much fuller, slower, longer, relaxed. And the exhales are just as long, controlled, and relaxed. So we're going to hold this for a little bit longer. It's going to burn. It's meant to burn. So these are probably the 2 most challenging poses of the class, just to turn on the core and the power. So as it becomes a little bit of a challenge, you can lower, of course you can lower, modify as you need. But try to get your breath much more powerful. It may be helpful to have the elbows down and then palms even on the ribs to feel the rib expansion on the inhale. Let's do another handful of breaths. Slower though, more powerful, more relaxed. Another variation is also to interlace fingers behind the lower back. So do as you'd like for a few more breaths. Stay focused with the body and the breath. Good, and on your next exhale, slowly lower the hips all the way down. Remove that prop. Hug the knees in towards the chest. You can rock a bit from side to side. Very nice. And if it does not hurt your lower back, rock forward and backwards a few times. Good. And on your next one, we'll come all the way forward. And now let's really get into the hips and the psoas and the quads, okay? So we're just going to, let's press back into downward dog. So especially if you want to focus on the hips and the thighs, the hamstring, you press your hips back, your heels back, and you lift up through the thighs. It may even be helpful to curl the toes up slightly towards the knees. Make sure you're breathing. You can rock your hips from side to side just to kind of warm up the hips, the hamstring. Feel free to really let some sighs out if you'd like, some mouth exhales if you'd like. Feel free to open your jaw as wide as you can. Let some tension out there. Very nice. Exhale onto the knees. Step the left foot forward into a lunge. So, this is the lunge. This is the pose. You want you to be on your palms or your fingertips. Sink your hips forward. So this, we're going to do very fundamental poses, but we're going to really get into the poses deeply. So, I want you to sink your hips forward, scoop your tailbone down, that little movement of the butt, and we'll take a few breaths here. Keep breathing powerfully. So this is probably enough if you're newer to yoga, but if you want to deepen this, I highly recommend it. That back right foot, which is down, it's completely down, you just press that back of the foot straight into whatever material you're practicing on. So press it straight down, but keep lifting your hips forward. That right psoas is what we're really getting into. So try to focus your awareness there as you breathe there. Very nice. Exhale your hips back. We're going to straighten that front left leg, curling the front left foot and toes downwards. So you're getting into that area right above the ankle. I know this may be hard. The foot may not go all the way down. That's okay. Just do what you can. Take a few more breaths. Very nice. Come forward. And we're just going to switch sides. So the left foot comes back, right foot comes forward. So it doesn't have to... My classes typically don't really flow so much. It's not a vinyasa. It's geared to be very therapeutic. So we're going to sink. The right foot is forward now, or the opposite foot. You sink your hips forward. Very nice. Scoop that tailbone. Few very focused, slow, controlled breaths. See if you can find that gratitude in you that is really just grateful that you are practicing yoga right now. Truly is a privilege to have the time to be able to open up our bodies. Each breath is delicious. It's just, And if you want that extra, that back foot that's already down, press it straight into the mat as you continue to breathe. Really focusing right here. Try to get into that area. Maybe a little movement of the hip can do that. Very nice. And now we're going to sink the hips back, straighten front right leg, curl foot and toes down. Relax the neck, by the way, if you're holding the head up. Very nice. Slowly come forward. Now we're going to step forward into a forward fold. This is a passive fold. You grab your elbows, you relax your neck. So you don't have to hold the head up at all. Keep the breath. can bob a little bit up and down. Good. And on your inhale, so I'm not going to stand up because I'll come out of the camera. I want you to inhale, rise all the way up. The head and neck will come up last. Very good. And once you're up, inhale the arms if they're not already up. Interlace fingers. And I want you to pull your arms away from each other. Energetically. So you're interlacing fingers, but you're pulling your arms apart, taking full breaths. And you're also pulling the thighs away from each other, so you create this container for your breath so you can breathe all the way into your belly. Good. 1 or 2 more of those. And on the exhale, I want you to fold all the way down, forward fold. You can bend the knees if you'd like now to place the palms down, step or jump back into plank pose. This is a core strengthener. Just hang out for another breath, 2 breaths. And you can drop the knees if you'd like to lower, and then lower all the way down. We'll take a low cobra. Good. Very good. So you're pulling, the palms are pulling towards your ribs, and you're lifting your chest forward. This is probably maybe even be higher than you take for your low cobra. And on your exhale, lower. Let's press back into downward facing dog once again. Very nice. Lift that back left foot forward very strongly so it literally lifts you up. Inhale, and on your exhale, step forward, lunge. So we're going to actually stay on the palms once again, but this time the back knee is up. So you're really lifting that back right knee up with a vigor, but that front left hip sinks down to the best of your capacity. So now that right psoas is probably opening, we're going to rock our hips from side to side to get into the groin. So in your inhale, I want your hips to rock a bit to the left. And on your exhale, the hips kind of rock to the right as if you were going to twist. Good, so you flow with your own breath. You inhale, hips left. And you exhale, hips right. The back heel will move, by the way. Empty. Good. Do about 2 more on each side. No rush. Bigger, fuller breaths. Good. Next time you come over to that right side, I want you to inhale the left palm into the sky for a delicious spinal twist. The neck can actually relax over the right shoulder. I want you to twist from the belly button. Spread those left fingers with all your intensity. And breathe. Good. Exhale the palm down. And press back, downward dog. Take a breath or 2 here. Lifting up, pressing back. Good. Inhale the right foot up and back. Reach it back. Exhale, forward lunge. Good. Nice long lunge. So you'll notice as you practice this, the ability to lunge will get deeper as your hips open. Lifting the back left knee, sinking right hip down. We'll rock from side to side. Inhale your hips to the right for the groin. And then on the exhale, your hips to the left for that psoas and the left thigh. With your own breath, the inhales are right. Exhale, hips are left. Do about 2 to 3 more. Really feeling the muscles that are burning a little bit, that are stretching. Then the next time you come to that left side, twist as the right palm rises to the sky for a spinal twist. Neck can relax. Twist deeper. Spread those right fingers. And on the exhale, let the palm float down. Slowly step forward to forward fold. Neck is relaxing. I want you to walk your palms over to the left. And then lift your right hip up and back. Make sure your head didn't lift. Well, the first time you do this, you'll probably want to watch, but after that, relax the neck and breathe into that right hip. Very nice. We'll come back to center. Walk the palms over to the right. Draw the left hip up and back. Make sure the head and neck relax. Relax the jaw as well. Breathe. And back to center. On your inhale, I want you to let the arms carry you all the way up. And then exhale, palms heart center. So you're standing now. Just take just a few breaths to really feel the effects of your practice so far. We're definitely going to be winding down. Very nice. Inhale the arms skyward. Exhale, forward fold. Place the palms down. Press back, downward dog. Good. I want you to, so this is new for a lot of people, turn the heels out and the toes inwards. And you do this as much as you can to really exaggerate this. Lift up through the thighs, press so your knees come apart. You press your hips and heels back. Good. Let's do the other way now. The heels are in, toes apart. Lift up through the thighs. You may want to spread your feet a few more inches, even lengthen your stance a bit. Press your hips and heels back. Let's do 2 more breaths. Exhale onto the knees. Child's pose. So the knees can spread, the big toes can come together to the best of your ability. Sink, walk your palms forward and just come down. So just hang out here for a few breaths, just to notice how you may already be in your day or whatever is stressing you out. Just let your breath melt you into the mat. Very nice. Come forward into table. So we're going to get into the hips quite deeply now. This is probably my favorite hip openers. Press back into your downward facing dog. Spread those fingers, really press into the palms. And now I want you to lift your left foot up and back. Reach it up to let that left foot sink over the right hip. So the knee will bend, the left knee will bend. And you wrap that left hip and knee open to the sky. Relax the neck and the jaw. Breathing. Good. And on your inhale, straighten. Exhale, forward lunge. So if this is your first time doing this class, definitely drop the back right knee. So this is the hip opener. You may want to have your prop handy in case you need it. That left knee is going to, the left knee and foot open to the left like this. So let me turn so you can see this possibly better. So the left knee opens to the left like that. So if you do that, you can curl, well actually I highly recommend it, to curl every single toe vigorously towards your knees, and that you really keep wrapping that left knee and hip open to the left. Walk your palms to the inside of the front foot. And now on an exhale, see if you can bend the elbows and slowly come onto your elbows. You may want a block to come onto, which is why I recommend the prop. Good. Stay in this pose. We're going to hang out for an extended breath. So if you want a little more, you lift the back right knee up. Make sure the head and neck are relaxing. We're going to take another handful of breaths. I want you to keep opening that left hip to the left. Keep the left toes curling. Two to three more breaths. You can do it. Stay with it. Very nice. Slowly come onto the palms. The knee will draw back. So if you do this regularly, another variation is to just not open the left knee and hip and foot to the left. You can just keep it neutral and then come onto the elbows as well. So that may be one to switch once in a while. Let's press back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Lift that right foot to the sky. Let it sink over right hip. Wrap that right hip and knee to the sky. Good. On your inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale for lunge. So you likely will just start with the back knee down. So that right foot can walk. Well, this is something I didn't mention on the other side, but it may be helpful that to create more space for the knee joint, to actually let the right foot walk a few inches to the right and up maybe an inch or two. Good. Then you let your right knee and foot open. You notice there may be a little less pressure on the knee. Palms walk to the inside of the front foot. And on an exhale, just slowly sink down to the best of your ability. So tune into the right hip. Each inhale, I want you to feel as if your inhale is like a balloon. Your hip is a balloon that is swelling up with oxygen, blood, prana. Good. Feel that. And if you'd like more intensity, you tuck the back toes and you lift the back left knee. You notice where you can kind of soften this pose a little bit. Is it the jaw? Is it the shoulders and neck? Is it the mind starting to get a little frantic? Keep opening the right hip and toes to the right. Let's take another 3 to 4 powerful breaths. Use your breath to guide you, to surf the wave of your breath through the intensity. Very nice. Slowly come onto the palms. I'm just going to now make our way under our backs. We're really winding down now. Inversions are great for your health. Recommend doing one pretty much daily. Elbows by your side. And you lift your hips up. Support your lower back with your palms into your half shoulder stand. So if this is a struggle, draw the elbows a little bit closer together. Maybe the back kind of comes a little bit closer together as well. The upper back. You can reach through the toes. Breathe into your belly. Let's do at least another handful of breaths into the belly. Let the benefits of this just soak it in. Soak it. There's no effort here. And on your exhale, slowly lower the hips down. I want you to bring your palms, your arms to a T. Left leg is over the right. And then let the knees slowly sink to the right as the gaze comes to the left. and the knees come down as far as is comfortable. Don't force them down. The key to deepening is the breath. So you inhale this amazingly full breath into the lower back, into the left hip, into the left chest, as if you had nowhere in the world to be but right here. Very nice. Let the knees rise. Let's do the other side. Right leg over the left. Knees to the left. Gaze to the right. Keep that full, delicious breath that you've cultivated today. And then slowly lift the knees, let the knees rise. Happy baby pose. Lift your feet, spread your knees, grab your feet or your shins, or even your thighs if you can't get those. So if your butt is up like this, try to get your butt and your hips down a little bit, so that now if you'd like to rock a little bit from side to side, you can. And you can massage the lower back, which feels amazing. You can do this for another few breaths. Happy baby. Goo goo gaga. Very nice. And then, highly recommend just taking a moment, at least a minute of Shavasana, where you just let the arms come down. Feel free to take a sigh. And just rest. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the class. Namaste.